Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Train of Thoughts. My name's Trey, and this is where I share my thoughts on the Winnipeg Jets. Jets lost again last night to the Arizona Coyotes, 4-2, to drop their record to 4-4. So, not the greatest start in the world, but we're still hanging in there, and with all the stuff going on with this team or that's been surrounding this team, we'll take it and we'll move on, and there's lots of growth opportunities from here. So breaking down the game started out great. Jets scored first again. They were on the power play, and Patrick Laine blistered one off the post, and Darcy Kemper, the Coyotes goaltender, had a tough time curling the puck, and Mark Scheifele was right there to bang it home. So great start, and I think one of the turning points in the game, if not the turning point or the momentum swing of the game, was going into the intermission, and I'm thinking to myself, I was gonna walk away, and it's like, well, what if something happens in the last 10 seconds? Well, something did, and it wasn't good. Arizona scored with 7 seconds left in the period to tie the game, and that is so huge to score a goal going into the break. That game a couple weeks ago, second game of the season, where the Jets were down 4-0 in New Jersey, and Kulikov scored a goal with 11 seconds left in the period, and the Jets took off from there. Then in the second period, that's been a huge bugaboo for the Jets. If I were to say one thing to focus on for them, and I know that there's probably a lot of things that would have to be specifically done to help out with that, but the second period has been tough. I don't know the stats. I should really look them up, but the Jets' goal differential in the second period has got to be big, because if you look back to that New Jersey game, I think they're only down like 1 or 2-0 after the first period, and it was all of a sudden 4-0. The next game against the Islanders, it was 0-0 after the first period, and they gave up a bunch in the second period. The Pittsburgh game, that was kind of a turning point in the second period, where they gave up I think they were down or was it tied going into the second period? And then they gave up 3 goals in the second and third period. So that's one thing that hopefully can see some improvement on, is just playing a little bit sounder in that period. I remember when I started the video after the Jets beat the Blackhawks on Saturday night, I said it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And the Jets need to work on their middle now. They've gotten better on their starts. They've had some great comebacks. Now let's work on that middle section of the game. They have had some good second periods too. They had a good one in Chicago. That they won that period to help get back in that game. But overall, the last 2 games especially have really shown a momentum swing in the second period. The penalty kill had a tough night. This was the Coyotes' 5th game. They hadn't scored a goal on the power play yet, and they went 2 for 2 in this contest. So good on the Jets to not commit more penalties than that. I know that the second one, Scheifele, bumped a guy and fell over, and they called the penalty on it, and you can say what you want about that, but that one hurt, because that goal made it 3-1 Arizona. And it seemed like the Jets lost a little steam after that. I did like on their on the Jets power play. They went 2 for 6, which it would have been better if they would have went like 4 of 6. I mean, that would have been a dream game. But they had their opportunities. That's where they scored. Obviously, both of their goals. Talked about Scheifele's goal. Second goal was on a 4-minute minor, which we'll talk about in a little bit of how that happened. And Kyle Connor scored a beauty where he skated in right by the net, had no room, and just kind of flicked it up over the goalie's shoulder. So that was a pretty goal. I saw it online as one of the NHL picks as top plays of the night. But what happened to result in that 4-minute minor, which ended up having an effect on the Jets power play, was Patrik Laine got a stick to the face, and he was cut and bleeding, and he had to go in and get stitches, and he missed the entire 4-minute power play. And that's kind of hurt to not have him out there. I know you want to say, hey, play with the guys you have, but Laine is such a weapon on the power play, and especially since his rocket of a shot resulted in the Jets' first goal. When they had that 4 minutes of time, where even when they scored the first goal, they still had another 2 minutes or so. If he would have been out there, if they could have made it 4-3, we might be having a different conversation this morning. So, Jets had 40 shots, which is the second time this year that they've done that. So that was great to see that they were putting it on net. They just weren't really rewarded. Speaking of shots on net, Connor Hellebuyck didn't look awful. A tough night with giving up 4 goals, but he also, there's some more bad bounces, and there's a few others that could have gone in. There was one that the Coyotes innocently dumped in, and it took a wicked bounce, and Hellebuyck went to play it, and it almost went over him and in, and that would have been really sad, but thankfully that didn't happen. Some players to focus. I'm honestly going to be doing some of the Arizona guys. Michael Grabner was catching the attention of the Jets broadcast for how he plays on the penalty kill, and they're talking about how many shorthanded goals he had last season, and he and the whole team on Arizona, they really did a great job of picking off lanes and intercepting shots on the power play, because the Jets, when they have those passing lanes open, then Wheeler can slide it across the ice to Laine for a one-timer, and boom, a lot of times good things happen from that. So Oliver Ekman-Larsson looked really good. Nick Schmaltz looked really good for Arizona. Darcy Kemper is playing really well in net for him. And then the Jets, Mark Scheifele had a pretty solid game. Kyle Connor was doing some good things. I liked a lot of stuff that Laine was doing out there. So hopefully the Jets can bounce back tomorrow night against the New York Islanders, and I will be talking on that. Another thing, I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, doing a little push to get to that, so I would love your support on that. Please fill up the comment section on what you have in this game, and as I always say, I know I was just talking about subscribers, but if you like this video, hit like. If you really like it, help me get to the 100 subscribers and hit that subscribe button. So thanks, and I hope you have a great day.